Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? My name is Zoe Baraka, and it is Tuesday, and it's 7:30 a.m., at least in New York. So that means it's time to tell some stories. I am so excited to be here. Thank you, and welcome to My Younger Self, where we tell stories from the past that will propel us into the future. There's a saying that if you don't tell your own stories, somebody else would tell it for you. And if someone else tells your own stories for you, they have the power to edit, add, take some things out as much as they want. Okay? Listen, I cannot see you, so please do me a favor. Go into the comment section like we always do and say hello to me, say good morning to me, say what's up, say welcome, say good afternoon, good evening, good night. Anything at all you would like to say to me, I am here and I'd like to hear from you. All right. All right. As always, we go and, we try to say a few greetings from the continent of Africa. So I want to say some few greetings to you. Hi, good morning, Beverly. I see you. Blessed Tuesday morning to you, my dear. It is so good to see you. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Listen, where are you watching us from? Especially on the continent of Africa. We want to hear from you, okay? Hey, if you're watching us from, say, Burkina Faso, I say Berla to you. Ibioke Bari to you. If you're watching us from any part of the northern regions of any part of Africa and you speak Hausa, Baraka da zuwa, Sanunku da zuwa, Yaya de, Kwakwana Lafia. I hope you slept well. It is so good to see you. Big Sis Elsie from Canada, I see you, one of our amazing, amazing line producers. Thank you so much for joining us. Ya Ken Ken, Toma Toma, Fudua Wella, Fatuma Awella, to post a win Baraka. Oh, I wanted to you, the Frafres will say. And I also just said good morning to you and, good, all kinds of nice things to you in my local dialect, which is the Kusal. La I wanted to you, the Frafres will say. Ansuma, the Walis will say. Ansuma Hoganga Sungo. That's what the Garis will say. Tasuba to you, the Dagombas will say. Indinao, Wezo to you, Wezo lo, the Ewes of the Volta region of Ghana will say. Oje Ko to you if you speak Ga. A caro to you, a cabo to you, the Yorubas will say, Otutuoma to you, Nabata to you, the Igbos will say, Emesiere to you, Emedio, if you are in the south part of Nigeria and you speak a Bibio dialect, I say good morning to you and welcome. Etisen, Akwaba, Ontiden, Memawachi, Nyamishra Bebre, I just said, how are you doing? Welcome. May God bless you. All of this in the Akan dialect of, tree and fanti and achim all mixed up in there. Karibu, the Swahilis will say, habari gani to you, habari asubuhi to you, oyaure to you if you speak Luo and you are from Kenya, murembe to you. I greet you. Awana to you if you are Mende and you are from Sierra Leone. Mangwanani to you. I got it right this time. Makadii to you. All the way, the Shona people of Zimbabwe, I thank you for joining us. Linjani, the Ndebeles of Zimbabwe will say, Nagadef to you if you speak Wolof and you are from Senegal. I greet you. Kotong to you and Amoholang to you if you speak Sesotho. I am so thankful you're here. Akei to you if you speak Creole. Now Mai to you if you speak Maori, and Welena from the Hawaiian people of Hawaii. Dumela to you if you are from the Soto land of South Africa. Sawubona to you if you speak Zulu. Kotoli to you if you are Fulani. Bonjour to you. Guten Morgen. The Germans will say buongiorno to you. Dobroje otro to you. The Russians will say, of course, buenos dias and welcome. I thank you for joining us. It is such a pleasure to be here. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Listen, I'm very excited today because we're going into the corridors of another NGO, but also diplomatic circles. We have, can I call him the Honorable? I just, like to prophesy and dub people, the Honorable Laureate himself, as I like to call him. I begged him and said, can I please call you uncle? Because, in Africa, we do that. So please let me introduce you to our next guest storyteller. Uncle Abraham is his name, but the world would know him as Dr. Abraham Mnzava. He is a renowned malaria expert with a focus on malaria policy, prevention, and control. He retired from the WHO Global Malaria Program in July 2016 as the coordinator, malaria vector control. Prior to this position, he also worked in 2 of the 6 regional offices of the WHO, advising countries on the prevention and control of vector-borne diseases. He also worked in 3 African countries, Tanzania, Kenya, and South Africa, on the research and prevention of malaria. His work has contributed to some of the recommended interventions in the world. Oh my God. You hear about malaria and, the prevention of it and all kinds of things, but you don't know the people that do all of the hard work behind the scenes trying to get us healthy and also eradicating some diseases that, quite honestly, in this day and age, should have no business being in our midst, right? So we are in the presence of greatness. Uncle Abraham is now currently working for the African Leaders Malaria Alliance, ALMA for short, and part of his role includes supporting and strengthening national and regional regulatory systems to enhance the introduction of new tools and products for vector control. He also supports ALMA in its role and local production of pharmaceuticals and vector control commodities in Africa. He is an author, an orator. He has written a powerful book that is titled Unwrapped. Oh my God, you should go get that book, Unwrapped, the story of a shepherd boy. You do not want to miss reading that. So please, I encourage you right now, go Google it, look it up, and you should be able to find it, especially on Amazon. And it should be it should be on Book Nook very, very soon. He holds a bachelor's degree in biology. The smart ones, huh? And also a master's degree in public health, that is from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and a PhD in malaria, which is from the University of Basel. He is married and a father of 2 grown-up children, Rachel and Kisaka, and a grandfather of 4. Rugo, Hockley, Giledi, and Fikani. I really hope I said those names right. I forgot to check with Uncle Abraham. Ladies and gentlemen, let us, in all the way we always do it, in the fashion of always just, welcoming our storytellers. Please, please, please help me welcome the only laureate I know, Mr. Abraham Mnzava. Hello.
Hello, Zoe.
It is so good to see you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. This was emotional.
Oh.
Thank you.
Did I add in the introduction, he is also one of the few men I know who laughs a lot. He laughs a lot.
And cries a lot.
Oh. All right, Uncle Abraham, the floor is yours. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Zoe, for for inviting me as your guest in this program. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank my colleague Salaam Tanzania, who was one of your guests previously, and he's the one who introduced me to you.
Yes, yes, Suleiman, thank you. This is true. Thank you so much if you're watching.
Thank you so much. And like him, I used to walk as I was in sleep. But that's another story for another day. Also, I was so much blessed when I watched one of your previous programs by Ben. Oh, he really blessed me.
Oh, wow.
On a lighter note, I remember him saying uh, he called mosquitoes flies. And then his friend said, no, a mosquito is not a fly, it's an insect. But certainly, flies and mosquitoes are all insects.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure my father would have been surprised that his son, who he inspired, would end up studying insects all his life. Unfortunately, he passed away just before I started my career in studying mosquitoes, or rather insects. But looking back, I thank God for all that. Um, Zoe and your esteemed audience, I come from really humble roots. Both my parents, their parents died when they were still very young. My mother, for example, her mother died during birth, and we thank God because our grandfather had a second wife. And by that time, when my mother was born, actually, the grandmother was also breastfeeding another child.
Mm.
That's how miraculously my mother survived. My father, at the age of 2, her mother also passed away, but uh, because there was a huge gap in terms of age between him and his elder brother, it was actually his sister-in-law who actually brought him up.
Mm.
But having said that, my grandfather had 4 wives with around 20 children.
Oh my
So
God.
we had so many aunties, we had so many cousins, and I think we are blessed. We are blessed because all these children built around his house,
Mm.
and therefore during for dinner we would all come to the grandfather's house in the middle and have our dinner there. The boys and the father, and then our sisters and the mothers would be having dinner in another house. So, why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because the family is an important fabric,
Mm.
and it's that fabric that really helped us. There were times that I didn't know that my father brothers were not from the same mother. You know,
Wow.
I just thought they were, yeah. But anyway, that's the story. But my story today, Zoe, is my father inspired me to excel.
Mm.
But my mother also uh, was a very prayerful person, a very prayerful lady who always prayed for us
Mm.
as children, and I really thank them so much. I was at the age of 10. I used to walk to a school which was very far from home, actually 12 kilometers one way, which means 24 kilometers every day. And then we were in class, and my father was walking by the school. And then my teacher saw him. He called him. I mean, my teacher's name was Simon. He called him. He came to the classroom. So when he came to the classroom, actually I was shaking because I didn't know what I had done wrong that my father would be
God.
called into the class. Of course, all the children stood up, greeted him, and the teacher said, "Abraham, don't sit down. Take the English book, open page so and so, and read for us. And please read loudly."
Oh my God.
So my father was standing there. I vividly remember, he had a mustache, he had a white shirt and a khaki trouser. He liked that kind of attire.
Right.
So I still remember today. And then I read the page, and then my teacher said, "Sit down." I sat down, and then my father thanked the teacher for inviting him to the class, and he actually left.
Wow.
Now, in the evening, after dinner, my father said, "Oh, I was so pleased to have come into your class, and I'm so pleased by your progress because your teacher had already told me about your progress. I'm so pleased. I'm telling you, my son, this because I never had that opportunity to go to school."
Wow.
Actually, your grandfather was so indifferent to education. Unlike our uncle, that's what my father was saying.
Mm.
Unlike our uncle, whose son, almost my age, had went to school, became a school administrator. He even went overseas. So I want you to really study hard. I want you to become either a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, and so on and so on. So I mean, I know. Okay, looking back, I say, I'm saying to myself, did he really know that his son would end up studying insects of
Mm.
all the and build a career on insects? So
Mm.
I look back and I really thank him for the inspiration, and I encourage all other people, the younger people. It doesn't really matter. Your background really doesn't matter. You really need to work hard, and with by God's grace, you end up somewhere. And one day you'll have a story to tell, like
Yes.
like like mine.
Wow.
Um, and because why my grandfather wasn't really into education. He thought of the children would grow up at the age of 19 or 20. They would get married. They would look after the farm and the animals that he kept. Actually, my
Mm.
grandfather had a huge herd of animals. And even for us on weekends or when we are on holidays, we would take these animals and take turns to
Wow.
take them out. I enjoy doing that. Actually, I enjoy doing that than doing farm work, because that was a bit, it's quite a task. Why did I enjoy that? Because at least you have the opportunity of taking a book with you,
Yes.
read as the animals, graze. And to tell you the truth, I also keep animals up to date. I keep sheep,
Wow.
mainly sheep. I have lots of sheep, and remember, grazing. Looking after sheep is so calming.
Mm.
Uh, it's so calming. I do that. I take even my grandchildren out, and we do that, and it's so peaceful. And
Wow.
remember in the Bible, so about Moses, it was only when he went out and became a shepherd that when he was running away after killing someone, that
You
of
met
course
God.
would have. Yeah. Yes. So I encourage even those who had, if they would have the opportunity, to keep a few sheep, please.
Hey, keep a few sheep. You might meet God.
Yes. So
Wow.
actually, that's one of my first story.
Mm. Wow.
If you
What a
allow, if
powerful story. And the audience, could I just ask a question? I know, for example, one of our producers, my broncle, I call him broncle because he's my uncle and also my brother. It's a funny family relationship. But Uncle Yidana actually keeps sheep too, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sure he can attest to the peacefulness of keeping sheep. Uncle Yid, if you're here, I think you should, chime in here about keeping sheep. But also going back to the story of, the family and community. It's funny how there's an age gap between you and I, but I also still I distinctly remember, especially in my grandmother's village, where, the men ate separately and the women ate separately. And, my grandfather also had many wives. I won't say how many, many wives and many children. And they all, were in little huts, but in the same compound. And I believe till date, when you go to my grandmother's house, you don't necessarily see the difference. One of my uncles that passed away, it was after he passed that I realized we weren't really real niece and uncle. He was step. And it turns out he actually was like my grandfather or something, so I thank you for sharing that and for bringing that out, because we seem to be losing that
Mm,
sense of community and just being together. and also distinctively knowing certain roles that men and women play. Forgive me, those who are feminists here. We're not trying to say let women go back into the old stone ages. We're just saying we missed that. Okay. Anyway, over to you again, Uncle.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zoe. My second story is how I cheated death
Wow.
miraculously, so to
Wow. Uncle
speak.
Abraham, before you go into that, what a powerful opening. By the way, let people chew on that for a minute and let me greet a few people. Paula, I see you. I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Rosanna Lima, I see you. Thank you. Francisca Ado, I see you. Thank you for joining us. Seti, another one of our producers. Thank you for joining us. Marjorie, Marge Buffo. Thank you so much for joining us. I look up to this woman. I'm always watching her. There's a few people God brought into my life, and I look at her every time she's hosting a program, just to take a few tips from her. So thank you for joining us, Marjorie. And for anyone else that I have not mentioned yet, thank you for joining us. God bless you. All right, Uncle Abraham, take it away. Cheating death.
Yeah, cheating death. I had moved to the Middle East, still working with the World Health Organization. It's a regional office based in Cairo,
Mm,
covering we are covering about 20 countries in the Middle East,
wow.
North Africa, and Middle East, as far as Afghanistan. I have so many stories almost for each country, but I'll share with you one which happened in Jordan. I was traveling to Jordan, Amman, Jordan,
Mm,
to conduct a training with uh, teams from Iraq. This was after the invasion of Iraq, the second invasion of Iraq. And so we couldn't travel inside Iraq.
mm,
So what would happen is to bring those colleagues of ours from Iraq to Jordan, and then we would work with them, we would do training and so on and so on.
mm.
So I was traveling to Amman, Jordan. Our program assistant had booked me in a hotel. So I arrived in Amman, Jordan. The driver came to pick me up. So as we left the airport, hardly a kilometer away, uh, he was called by our country representative. The good thing about the World Health Organization is, it has a presence almost in every country.
Mm.
And usually we have a representative for WHO in each country. So this lady Naima, who was our representative there, called the driver. Me, I didn't know what the message was because they were talking in Arabic. I could understand a bit of Arabic, but no, not really because it was on a phone. So she told the driver, "Please, where are you taking Abraham?" The driver said, "I'm taking him to Radisson Sas Hotel."
Mm.
He said, and where are the participants from Iraq staying? He said, "Oh, they're staying in another hotel." Then she said, "Okay, I suggest that you don't take him to Radisson Sas Hotel. Take him to this hotel where the participants from Iraq are also staying." Um, then the driver conveyed the message to me, and he drove me to the hotel where my colleagues from Iraq were staying. Um, and then around uh, 8 o'clock, I was sitting in the room, and all the channels were actually broadcasting about the coordinated attack in three hotels in Amman, Jordan, and one of them was Radisson Sas Hotel,
Oh my God.
where 60 people died and a couple of hundred were injured. Honestly, for me, and in fact, it was my daughter who was then studying in the UK who called me. He said, because she knew I was traveling to Jordan, she
Mm.
called me. He said, "Daddy, are you safe?" I said, "Yes, I'm safe." What happened? He said, but three hotels have been bombed in Amman, Jordan. And one of them was actually the one that I was supposed
You,
to have
wow.
to, to have actually stayed. No, but the bottom line of this is, such incidences actually continue to strengthen my faith in God, and I
Oh,
look back and thank him for sparing me. I'm sure he has a good reason of sparing me, because who am I to have survived?
wow.
Thank you.
What a
Yeah.
powerful story and also a scary one, but for
Well,
the love of God. Yes. Wow.
yeah.
I think
This
the
is the
thing
God
that,
we serve.
yes, and also the thing that strikes me is the fact that you weren't so bent on going to a particular hotel that when they changed and said, go join your colleagues, you just kind of
Yes.
went with the flow without necessarily even knowing the thing that was happening in the atmosphere that God was orchestrating to protect you. Wow. Wow. We thank God that he preserved you.
He
Had you
did.
written your book before that or after that?
I wrote it after that.
Can you imagine? That's what one of the big motivational speakers back in the day said, that the cemetery or the graveyard is the richest place on earth because so much potential is there on earth potential. That's where writers are and artists are and painters, things that were never done. So I'm so
Indeed.
thankful to God that he preserved you to be able to write and also to be here with us. My goodness.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. Wow.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Jane says we give God all the glory. Yes. And
Amen.
Big Sis says this is the God we serve. My God.
Amen.
My God.
Amen.
Wow. Wow. I am blown away. So I'm now ready to hear more.
Well, my third story is really about how God uses our mistakes to actually prosper us.
Mm,
As I mentioned before, I used to support countries in terms of providing, technical support, advices, and in line with the World Health, recommendations.
mhm,
So, based in Cairo, one of the countries wanted to buy insecticides. Insecticides, these are chemicals which are used to spray houses,
mhm,
and the basis for this is when you spray the insecticide on the wall, the mosquitoes will come to the house to take a blood meal, to bite a person, because they need the blood for regeneration,
mhm,
and to produce more mosquitoes, and they can only do that by taking a blood meal, which means only female mosquitoes bite people. So these mosquitoes will come sit on the wall before they bite a person, and
mhm.
then come and bite a person, and then go back to the wall to digest the blood.
But
So,
wow.
so, so it's this basic principle. We're advising countries to spray their homes with a safe chemical, but
Mhm,
meant to kill the mosquitoes.
mhm,
Now, to cut the long story short, a country that I was responsible for wanted to procure this chemical from a supplier who was not one of those that are recommended by the World Health Organization.
mhm,
Then a colleague who was working in that country called me, sent me emails several times. Oh, Abraham, can you advise us on this one? The country wants to buy this. I was caught up in at the time when I was so busy organizing other meetings, so I didn't respond in time.
mhm,
So under pressure, I responded. I didn't even call. I sent an email. So when I sent the email went to this technical person in the country, and without me knowing, he took the same message to the government, to
oh,
the Minister of Health, that, we have been advised by our expert from the regional office that you shouldn't use this chemical because it has not gone through the proper channels of being certified, which was true. So of course, sometimes there's a lot of corruption going on because these are huge, these are bulky procurements. And so 3 months later, I'm called at the regional director's office, and he opened. Usually, he calls me in his office to talk up when I had just come back from a mission supporting a country. But I never traveled out. Why is he calling me? I've never submitted any report that he wanted to discuss with me. So he took the file and then said, "Can you read this one?" I sat there, I read it, and it was actually the potential supplier who was threatening WHO to take them to court or whatever because of the wrong advice that I had given.
Wow.
Oh, so it made me so nervous. So he said, "Do you remember this?" I said, "I remember, but this was a long time. Can you go and draft something for me in response to this?" I said, "Yes." That morning, that afternoon, I was flying to Geneva. I sat there, I couldn't eat because, I thought, have I damaged the reputation of the organization because of the advice that I had given? But okay, when I got to Zurich, I was connecting to Geneva from Cairo. I went to the business lounge, because we didn't have mobile phones with the internet. The internet was only in the lounges. So quickly, I sat down and then I sent him an email to our regional director and his deputy, saying, I stand by what I have advised this country. I'm prepared even to lose my job if that is the case. But I strongly believe that the advice I had given to the country is the correct one. So when they checked with headquarters and so on, they found a lot of things. One, that company was not registered even to operate.
Wow.
Two, the product that they were using was not the one that was recommended by the World Health Organization. So this company, our legal advisor had to write to him and say, "You are invited to our offices so that you can be supported or helped to make sure that your product is certified." But it didn't end there. Then the regional director thought there is need for me to give a presentation to ministers of health during the regional committee meetings. These are meetings when ministers of health come every year, and the organization decides on what topics to be presented. And mine was one of them, because he realized that there's a lot of information that countries do not have. And it didn't end there. He ended up promoting me to a higher grade.
Wow.
because of what I had done, and maybe my position that I'm prepared to even lose my job if that be the case, because what I had advised the country, I believe, was the right thing. So I think for the younger people, integrity is key to everything. But I'm reminded by Prophet Isaiah in Isaiah 61 verse 3, where he says to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. This is the God we serve. This is indeed the God we serve. When we think that maybe all is lost, He's there to actually,
turn it around. Yes.
Turn it around. And I thank Him for it. Yes.
Wow. You said that it was a mistake. And as you were telling the story, I kept saying to myself, but it really wasn't a mistake. You knew what you were talking about because you'd worked in there for a while. And so even though you responded in a rush, you still had the conviction based on experience that this was the recommendation you were going to make. So even if you had taken your time to read all those emails, your recommendation would have still been the same.
Yes, yes. But Zoe, I forgot to tell you one thing. When you work in these organizations, they are really bureaucratic.
Mm,
Bureaucratic in the sense that while I'm the advisor, I'm the technical person for this particular area, I was not allowed to write directly to countries. Such information,
oh,
I should have drafted a memo, a letter, which would have gone out in the name of the regional director. No, no, not in my name,
mm.
unfortunately. But I thank God I'm working now in an organization where we are really free, and maybe there's a good reason to do that.
Right, right.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, if you think about WHO and how maybe huge they are and they're in every part of the world, they probably, for reasons just like that, when someone says, I'm going to sue you, they want to have a chain of, for lack of a better word, evidence to
yes.
support or back what. But what a powerful story about, you're right, integrity, and also just standing up and saying, I made a statement and I stand by it,
Yes.
as opposed to going to try to find excuses to say, oh, but I was so tired that day and I didn't even know what I was writing and it was not my fault and all kinds of things. You just stood by it and said, I'm prepared to lose my job if that's what it takes, but I stand by my words. And that's
Yes.
something most of us are now learning. You know, we grow up learning that. So thank you for sharing that story. Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
I
Thank
see,
you.
I see that today we are within time because we normally tell people,
Yes.
our guests, we want to do between 30 to 35 minutes. And sometimes we would go a little further out because, we're to talk. So today it looks like we're probably going to be within the time. And I appreciate the fact that you picked PowerPoint stories. I'm always saying to the audience, first of all, let us know what you're thinking about the stories. And also second, could you let us know if you want to hear another story from Uncle Abraham? I know today is a little rainy outside and a little glum and people are trying to get to work. So we don't have a lot of people on here yet, but for those of you who are still here, do you want to hear something else from Uncle Abraham? I did prepare him and say, you know what, come with a little more than you normally would. So as we wait for those things to come through, can I just say, Uncle Abraham, me personally, I want another story. So yes, please. And
Um,
here is another person that said, yes, we have a seconder. So yes, please, one more story.
one more story, and probably the last story. Um, um, I just moved to Geneva from Cairo. I was promoted to go to the headquarters to lead, vector control. That is the prevention of vector-borne diseases uh, globally. So uh, I I was in the office one morning, and I didn't feel well.
Hmm.
There was a lot of work, and yeah, I did a lot of work and probably a bit of stress. So I went to our clinic on the campus, and
Mhm.
then the doctor checked me up. She did take samples and this and that, and then the following day they said everything was fine. So I went back to the doctor. I said, "Can I?" Because I'm supposed to travel to Ecuador in
Mhm.
Latin America. I said, "Could I travel?" She said, "Oh yes, you are fine. You can travel, no problem." That was just a small spike of the heart and so on. So I traveled to Ecuador for a week, and then I came back. I came back. I think it was Friday, and
Mhm.
then Sunday evening, uh, our son was studying in law school in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and I hadn't checked whether he was okay with his pocket money and so on. So I did check with him, and he said, "Oh yeah." So I went online and sent a few pocket money for him, and then I went back to the desk wanting. It was like 6 o'clock in the evening in Geneva. So I opened my laptop and started doing some work, and then I felt this pain, the excruciating pain. It's like someone was pressing against my head. Then
Wow.
I moved from the desk and went to the sofa, lie down, but the pain was continuing. I didn't think it was serious because just a week before the doctor said it was fine.
Mhm.
Then I said, oh, maybe I should just go to the bedroom and lie down. As I walked along the corridor to the bedroom, I fell down.
Wow.
Actually, I collapsed. And so I was alone in the apartment. My wife had just gone back to Tanzania. I was alone. There was no one there. And I don't know how long I was on the floor, but thank God I later woke up. When I woke up, I realized this was something
Serious.
serious.
Yes.
Yeah. So I called the ambulance, and in fact, for them, they said we'll be there in less than the Swiss people will be there in less than 6 minutes, and indeed, in less than 6 minutes, they were there. And what they told me is leave the door open and the lights on because they thought if I collapse again, they want to
Be able
know
to
exactly
go in, right?
which apartment because in Geneva they don't write numbers on the doors, which
Wow.
I don't know for why they don't do that. But they came on time. They took me to the hospital, and they did what they did. There was a blockage in one of the blood vessels,
Oh my.
uh, so they put a stent, and I survived. I survived from this. Now the point here is, yeah, also for you, so you may be working very hard. I think it's important to manage stress.
Mm,
Uh, I had forgotten, I had ignored a lot of things,
mm.
exercising, uh, eating healthy, doing things in moderation. I think these are key to maintaining our healthy
Our
status.
healthy status.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, thank God. I really thank God for sparing me on this one.
And
Yeah,
yes, a
because
lot of narrow
I
escape.
created the wrong genes, unfortunately.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, we
yes,
thank God again for your life. So many times he's just said, no, not now. You're not going now.
indeed.
There's stories of many people who probably didn't even go through half of what you went through, and they just, they leave this earth. And so that speaks about the providence of God upon your life. And we're so thankful for that. Wow. And for those of you who are watching, please take this advice very seriously. Manage your stress. Don't feel guilty to rest. I found that for
Indeed.
me, that was one of the things that scared me the most. I always thought the world was passing me by, or that my colleagues were doing so much more than I was, and I needed to keep pushing, and I wouldn't rest. I It took a while for me to learn the art of resting, purposeful
Yes.
resting, not just lounging about for days and days, but really saying to myself, I have worked, say, 4 days already, and I'm going to take a full day and rest. There's nothing wrong with that. And we should all have the grace and the privilege to be able to do that. So, to your younger self, anybody out there, please, please take good care of yourself. Do most things in moderation, except for prayer. Pray big.
Amen.
Do most things in moderation, except for prayer. Keep praying, big ones, small ones, all the time. Do that in excess, and that would balance the scale for you. I guarantee it. Okay. Wow. Thank you so much for coming and just sharing these powerful stories with us. I appreciate that so much. I know that Uncle Abraham, you wanted us to play a song for you. What we neglected to ask you was at what point you wanted us to play it. Do you think this is a good time to sing along with everybody?
Indeed, it is the right time because you know, being grateful to God because of His great faithfulness. I mean, look at the stories that I shared with you and your audience.
Yes.
Uh, it's nothing but God's faithfulness, and
Yes.
this is what I want to sing with your audience.
All
And
right.
so I forgot to tell you, I've actually told even my family members, and I'm telling you now, when I go to rest, when they lay me they lay me to rest, this is the song I want them to sing.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
If my family forgets, please remind them.
Hopefully I do not have to, and I'm praying for a long, long life for you. But what an important responsibility. Wow, 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 wow. Let me pull it up as I do not want to share that responsibility at all. But guys, please hang with us as I pull up this powerful um, song that Uncle Abraham wants us to sing together. And if you know the song, I encourage you to sing with us. It's the song called "Great Is Thy Faithfulness." I believe this one particular one was done by a young lady, and I think her last name is Siemens. I do want to give credit to her. All right, here we go. Here we go. Bear with us one moment. It's loading up. Go.
O God, my Father, there is
Is
no
no
shadow turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions very faithful. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I need and hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and
Wow. Wow.
Amen.
Amen. Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I see that some people were singing along. Yes, this is clearly his life anthem. Great is thy faithfulness. I believe there's a lesson in there too. What is your life anthem? You know, most of us just go through life with no principles at all, no anthem at all, or a code to live by. What is your code? Uncle Abraham's code is great is thy faithfulness. No wonder God has been snatching him out of the jaws of death time and again, time and again. We thank God for your life. Yes, indeed, Ninette. Thank you, Pastor Ninette. Yes, great is his faithfulness. Thank you so much, Uncle Abraham. This has been a very insightful time with you. And I am so gracious. I'm just grateful. I was about to say gracious. I don't know why, but I'm so grateful that you took time. I know you're so busy. 2 days ago, I was speaking with you and you were in another part of the world. And today you're in Dar es Salaam. Who knows where you will be tomorrow? So we really appreciate your time. 50 minutes and counting. We do not take it for granted here at To My Younger Self. So thank you. Guys, please go on Amazon and find his book. And hopefully very soon you will find his book also on Book Nook. Set up from out of Ghana. Yay. Hello. And, just read that book. And next year, we do hope to find Uncle Abraham again so we can do an in-depth discussion about Unwrapped, the story of a shepherd boy, during our author's corner. So please stay tuned, okay? Next week, we have a powerful storyteller, a woman I am just absolutely in love with, and she's gonna come on. She, we had to her and I had to huggle a bit because she kept saying, I don't have any stories, but I know she does. And I was praying to God and asking for who to open December with us, because we know December is a very powerful month and we have to be careful who opens it with us. So Pastor Teresa Laya will be here with us. Woo woo! So please do not miss next week. The timing will be a little different. It will be 7 a.m. instead of 7:30. So please keep that in mind. We had to shift a little bit to accommodate each other. So please keep that in mind. It will be 7 a.m. EST, which is 6 a.m. CST, which will be 12 p.m. GMT. I'm doing calculations in my mind now. And 3 p.m. plus 8, which is where Uncle Abraham is. That's in Dar es Salaam. So please do not miss it. After that, I believe we have one of Ghana's very young and renowned journalists. He's going to come on and share some stories with us. And of course, we close the year in the third week of December with another powerful storyteller. I'm going to hold off on him before I reveal it. So you know what, guys? I appreciate you. I thank you. Thank you so much for hanging with us. God bless you. As always, we let the guest do the last, tell us the last thing he wants to share with not only his younger self, but to us, what he wants to share with us. So Uncle Abraham, over to you.
Thank you so much, Zoe. All of us go through, what we would call difficult times or bleak situations. But I want to encourage everyone that God is allowing such situations so that they are training for his service.
Amen. Wow. And also so that there will be testimonies to be told and stories to be shared, just like we just did. And I do want to take a little time to say a special thank you to our executive producer. For those of you who do not know him, Mr. Emmanuel Sorogo, I want to publicly say thank you to you. This man is the person that, should I say, has been our financial bedrock for a while. He has helped a lot in keeping the studio together. And the fact that I am sitting here today is also not only because of God, but also God has used him to allow all of this to be possible today. So, Mr. Emmanuel Sorgo, I know you're busy, but wherever you are, hopefully you get to see this. I thank you so much. Thank you. One day we will tell the story. One day. But all right. On that note, guys, much love from me, Zoe Baraka, and of course, Uncle Abraham Mnzava, all the way in Dar es Salaam. We love you. Please, please, please always remember, great is his faithfulness. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.
Bye bye.